Today's episode is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official captain of Against All Odds. We're raising our glasses of Captain Morgan and Ginger to all you captains out there. Whether you're a tugboat captain, captain of your intramural dodgeball team, or just live to have fun. You're all captains in our book. No matter how you choose to live like a captain, Captain Morgan reminds you to please drink responsibly. Captain's orders. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie is the industry-leading website for all your betting needs. With their great odds, fast payouts, and decades of expertise, you can bet with confidence. Your team doesn't have to even win. They just need to cover the spread. So what are you waiting for? Lay down some cash and win big today. You could also check out their online casino if you'd rather just roll the dice and craps. Join now and MyBookie will match your deposit with up to a 100% bonus. Use promo code SAL to activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. Welcome to Against All Odds with Cousin Sal, part of the Ringer Podcast Network. We have Kyle working the board. Young Kyle, what's happening, man?
Just loving life.
All right. Tate has the night off. He has, he has like co-ed kickball league or something.
He's got a concert. He's got better things to do.
A concert? What concert did he go to?
Chance the Rapper.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like how he pretends to be hip. I really love it. It's one of my favorite things about him. I will say it's a great start, though, Kyle. I show up. My headphones are they're properly hung up. The microphone is set up. I have a bottle of water. You were asking me about the lighting. You already had the Degenerate Trifecta patched in. This is a really nice start.
Yeah, it's a real operation we got going on here.
I'm not used to the professionalism. All right. Well, this is a weird thing. It's a weird week. We're coming off that Vegas disaster, and it is hard doing like a sports gambling podcast, knowing what's going on in Las Vegas. And everyone, please donate to AmericanRedCross.org or anywhere. They need blood. They need funds for the families and the victims. And I did a thing. I did an interesting thing, Kyle. I was going to bet a lot of money on the Redskins +7 Monday night. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to donate whatever I was going to bet on them. And it turned out to be a good thing. I may have saved my own life with that donation because to lose like that on that crazy play that we're going to discuss, that may have been it for me. I mean, I would have gone berserk. First of all, I would have had at least $175 worth of holes in my wall. So there's that money. So listen, good things happen when you donate. I avoided disaster and donated to one. And we're going to go over that crazy Monday night ending. We're going to go over baseball playoff odds. We're going to take a cruise down the river in the Captain Morgan Make-Believe Riverboat Casino. We'll have a Degenerate Gambler Hall of Fame nominee and Sharp Tank, our most popular segment on the show. These guys are phenomenal. Let me introduce them. A few friends of mine, my wizards of wagering, my gurus of gambling, my barons of betting, my overlords of the odds. The Degenerate Trifecta is here. What's up, guys?
What's up, Sal? What's going on, buddy?
This is getting funny here. We do this thing called Sharp Tank, and you guys pitch me your best bet every week. And out of the three of you, I have to pick one. And the last 2 weeks, I've picked the one that's lost. I picked Parlay Kid. I picked yours. What happened? We went with our favorite team, the Cowboys, and we linked them with the Falcons in a money line parlay. It didn't come in.
Terrible, Sal. The Falcons, I think we saw who the real MVP of that team is, Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out. They look lost. Their offense was lost without him. And our Cowboys are showing flashes of 2013 Monty Kiffin defense. It's wow, they're hurting on that side of the ball, especially in the secondary. Still waiting for Byron Jones to make a play in 3 years here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thrown for a loop on that one, Sal. My apologies.
Did you know Byron Jones? I didn't. I looked into it. Jerry Jones' son. Like I had no idea, but he met a cocktail waitress in El Paso. Yeah, it's a long story. It's very strange. But then you had Brother Bry. You had like a 7-team college parlay, which was crazy. Moneyline parlay paid over 3-1. That hit. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, that was easy too. I mean, well, the first 6 games were so easy. I couldn't believe how easy they were. And then, of course, I had to sweat out the Oklahoma State game. I mean, I was like shaking on my couch watching that because not only did I have that, since I also gave that out, I was extra nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah, they came through.
Yeah, they're the worst team on the planet to root for. I hate them, but I should have. Because of that, I didn't take your parlay. And Harry, you kicked things off Friday night. You had Washington State. You had loved this for months. Money line, didn't even take the points over USC, plus 180. That was a winner.
Wow. How do you figure that? 2 in a row I've hit.
Yeah.
Coming very nicely. Coming very nicely.
Yes. I'm worried Harry's going to be.
You did predict 44-29, though.
He did say 44.
I did say 40. If
Harry,
it went to overtime, maybe got close.
Harry, I'll apologize for you in advance. I think you're going to be a little distracted between the Diamondbacks game and the WNBA game, decisive Game 5 finals. We may not hear a lot from Harry. Harry, you lost. You weighed yourself. You have to weigh 194 or 196 to win our bet.
Can I say 196?
Is it 94? Okay.
Nope.
I think it's 194. I think
Is
it's
it?
194.
Harry has to lose 52 pounds by Super Bowl 52, and I give him $5,200. He's lost like 22 pounds in 4 months. And what'd you weigh in today?
Today I weighed in at 218.
Whoa.
218.
It's getting real. It's getting real right now.
Right. I think you've lost. So I'm trying to figure this out. So you've lost 20.
He's lost like 2 pounds over the last 6 weeks. About.
I was going to give him the slightest benefit of any doubt. 28 pounds, I think, in 4 months since May, June, July, August, 4 months, and now you have to lose another 22 in like 4 months, right?
Yeah. Well, like this past week, I basically ate water for the week, so I lost like 3-4 pounds. So I might keep that up.
Listen, all the great dietitians say that's the way to go. Let's talk about this Monday night backdoor fiasco.
Jamison Crowder, here come the laterals. Back to Cousins, who cannot catch it. It's on the ground. Picked up by Jordan Reed, now Thompson. Kansas City has it. This might be meaningful to some. Houston scores a touchdown.
I saw it. The Chiefs were favored by 7 in most places. The over-under, I thought was like 48. Some people said it was like 49 or 49.5. I saw around 48. The Chiefs, everybody knows by now, they were up 3. It's great because Andy Reid's bad clock management allowed this last play. Instead of kicking the field goal with no time left, there were like 4 seconds left. So there's a kickoff, there's laterals, it's crazy, there's fumbles, and then Houston takes it and runs it in for the Chiefs, and they win by 9. Don't kick the extra point. And the spread, I think, goes over. Basically, most shops it went over. I want to ask you guys, has the last play of a football game ever affected more bets and fantasy results? I mean, obviously the Pats touchdown in the last play of the Super Bowl last year swung a lot of money. But fantasy-wise, to do fantasy and bets, I think this ranks right up there. Brother Bry, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's definitely up there for the most like meaningless play, right, of the game. I mean, there's some last-second touchdowns that a team wins that swings it, but this was just, I mean, that was just outrageous. I mean, they were Crowder lateraled it back to Thompson, who dropped it like 3 different times. You know, it was really nuts. And the crazy thing about that was, you know, we had talked about some of these fantasy scores where we've never really seen stuff switch like this. Like you had Kansas City. I know my nephew or Darren's son ended up losing by 0.1 because of Kansas City score. There was some even more outrageous ones than that. I don't really remember something on such a meaningless play. That's for sure.
The weird thing about it was so you could say like Aaron Rodgers, that I think it was like a week 13 game. That was a Thursday night against Detroit, that Hail Mary in 2015. So that swung a lot of games, but you had to wait 4 days for it. This was the last play of the week. So it really, really swung a lot of fantasy games, and there was enough money on it. I think it was like William Hill, 67% of the money was bet on the Chiefs. Another shop at $300,000 swing on that last play. Parlay Kid, what do you think about this? Was it the weirdest play in terms of money and fantasy results?
Yeah, it had to be, Sal. You know, I had them in a pool, like with I forget what I had. I think the Chiefs were like -5.5 that I got them at. I had chalked it up as a loss in this pool. It wasn't really that meaningful of a game for me. It's a season-long pool. But I'm thinking, maybe something crazy. Well, what are the chances? Maybe 1 in, out of 100 here that something happens. And sure enough, you see it happen. But then you're thinking, maybe the defender just goes down on the play, right? Like
Right.
he doesn't score.
Mm-hmm.
He just goes down. Game is over. He goes into the end zone. As he's going into the end zone, the ball actually almost gets stripped from Houston's hand.
Yeah, he got turned around
from the
for a second.
defensive
Yeah.
player. It almost gets stripped. He goes in, and all of a sudden, I got people texting me, "Hey, Mike, your son just lost in fantasy," because he's in our league, one of our leagues that we're in, and he's good. He's a good fantasy player, and loses by 0.1. What are the chances of that? And then the gambling implications on top of it. Never. I don't know if this can be matched, Sal. I think this is unprecedented.
As Brother Bride said, I tweeted about the Parlay Kid's son, Michael's fantasy game, lost by 0.1 on that last play. And I'm like, this is going to be impossible to beat. And then I just get dozens and dozens of tweets like, oh,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
what about me? I lost by 3, and, you know, I had Derek Carr in, and he got hurt, and I could have had Jared Goff. I'm like, oh, geez, it's not the same. How was that the same thing? It's not the same thing.
Well, Sal, there was a few that were worse in that.
Yeah.
Some people, they played an opponent. They lost by like point something. They played an opponent that had the Chiefs, and they also got like minus points
Right.
for either Crowder losing yards on that last play or Thompson's fumble. So some people lost like double whammy there at the end. So
Right.
It was actually crazy to see that.
There were some weird ones in there, and I feel for anyone. It's just you're just best off not having anyone started in the Monday night game or going against it. I don't know how you could control that, but it was crazy. Now, as far as the spread goes, they won by 9. They were laying 7, and the over under, like I said, I had it at 48. Some had it at 49.5. If it's 49 or 49.5, you got lucky that they didn't kick the extra point. Why did they even not kick the extra point? Was it just for they didn't want to rub it in, or was it because of the injury concerns? Because it certainly wasn't like worried about the Redskins running it back for a touch. That wouldn't have mattered. Very strange. Harry, you've come at it from a different point of view, right? Harry, you worked. You worked behind the counter of a sports book before you were fired for unspecified reasons. What is it like there on a play like that? Is it just bedlam at the end of a game?
For printing a $7 ticket that the guy didn't have the money. $7. Anyways, it's crazy. You know, working in Vegas sports books for 14 years, you meet a lot of idiots and a ton of degenerates. And when you combine them with a double point spread flip on the last play like that game had, you get a lot of lines with people having to put in lost ticket payout requests due to them ripping up the ticket or just losing it when they had already tossed it in the trash when you thought there was no way that Kansas City could cover the spread. And, you know, it just turns into mayhem. You're right, mayhem, exactly. Because just people just wait till the game is over and then figure it out. People will just do that, and then they almost like bragging about it. It's a point where to get a double turnout like that, they're bragging that they had the losing or winning side because of the situation. Like, I checked with a buddy of mine that I used to work with. You guys have always heard of Jimmy the Greek. Well, this is Jimbo the Greek. And Jimbo told me, normally, you know, as far as he recalls, you have 1 or 2 lost ticket claims a month with someone losing their ticket or something. He said, for this game and the double result, they've had already 30.
Wow. People are ripping the tickets
people
already.
Just saying they threw their ticket out. They threw their ticket out because they had Kansas City. They ripped it up, and it's a winner.
I have to say, you bring up a good thing, like about people bragging about being on the winning side of this. I would not feel that at all. That's the last thing I would feel is, oh, my God, I'm so good at gambling because I won on this fluke play. In fact, even if I win.
Who had the Patriots, like people had the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you could find like besides the Patriots fans who were unbearable, people who bet them like that. No, I'm sorry. You had the wrong side for 59.5 minutes. But I feel sick to my stomach for anyone who had Washington. And I just don't like plays like that. It kind of ruins gambling for me. But listen, before we move on, football fans, listen up. Should have some on there. Fantasy football fans. It's not too late to join the 500,000 people that have already downloaded Draft this season. You get to play in a real-life snake draft, but you're done in under 5 minutes, and they last for just 1 week. That's like an Anthony Scaramucci employment contract, but you can join one right now for week 5. And the best part, you play for cold, hard cash. Get this. Your chances of winning are 80% better than on the salary cap sites. 80%, Harry. Isn't that great?
Solid, man. Solid.
It's like the chances of Harry ending up wearing a sign on Hollywood Boulevard next February. I would say 80%. But anyway, all new players, you get a free entry into a real money draft when you make your first deposit. You have to use the promo code, The Ringer. That's right. Play a real money game for free just by using the promo code, The Ringer. And it gets even better. Draft is so sure you'll love it that they'll even offer the Ringer listeners a money-back guarantee up to $100. Just search Draft in your app store or go to draft.com and come play free right now with the promo code The Ringer. All right, Major League Baseball playoffs actually going on right now. The last play-in game, Arizona and Colorado. What's the score there, Harry? I know you're watching closely.
3-0 Diamondbacks. Bottom of the second, 1 out, nobody on. Goldschmidt hit a 3-run homer.
Okay.
So much for that injury of his.
I don't need the whole box score. I just wanted the whole thing. All right. This is what I'm gonna ask you guys each for your best bet heading into the playoffs, either the World Series or the AL pennant, NL pennant, divisional round matchup. 3 of the 4 matchups are determined right now. Astros -165 over the Red Sox. Indians about -185 over the Yankees. Nationals -130 over the Cubs. As far as the World Series goes, Cleveland is a light +280 to win it. Dodgers 350, Houston 6-1, Yankees 8-1, Red Sox 9, Cubs defending champs +950, Nats 10-1, etc., etc. Parlay Kid, what's your best bet for the MLB playoffs?
Well, Sal, that's a good question. I find this there's a lot of parity right now in these playoffs. I feel like the American League. I think the 4 teams in the American League. Now, you and Harry are National League fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 4 teams in the American League are better than any of the 4 teams in the National League.
Of course
right
you
now.
do. Of course.
That's how I feel. Of course. Okay. Of course. But I really do feel that way. But I feel like, and I love my Yankees. I feel like what a nice win last night. The stadium, it felt like the old stadium last night, Sal. That place was as loud as I've heard it in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But the one team I feel like is going to give the Yankees problems is the Cleveland Indians. I think they're the best team in baseball. They're on a mission this year. So I'm going to get back to that. But so I know you're waiting for my pick. Indians, Dodgers, World Series. That's going to be the matchup at +450.
Okay.
I like the Indians coming out of the American League. I think the Yankees are going to be very game in this. But here's the bottom line, Sal. The Indians, 2 words, Corey Kluber.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's 15-2 since June 1st with a 1.62 ERA. He tends to dominate the Yankees. He, for some reason, is going to pitch Game 2, which also means he'll be available if it goes to Game 5. The Yankees have a very hard time hitting him. And obviously, I'm talking about the World Series here.
Mm-hmm.
I think this team is destined this year to go back there and play the Dodgers. Now, I know Harry doesn't like this Dodgers pick, but to me, listen, the Dodgers are a dominant team. They took the foot off their pedal, off the pedal, and they went on a real bad slump. I think they kind of got it together towards the end of the season again in the final week or two. Not that they were the dominant team that they had been, but I just don't see that dominant team in the National League, somebody that's going to upend them. I think they're going to the World Series this year. Kershaw is going to get this playoff monkey off his back. Dodgers meet the Indians in the World Series +450.
All right. Wow, that's pretty low. I guess they're both the favorites, right? So that's low for a matchup, but pretty good.
Sure.
You should be okay for at least the pennant round there at +450. Brother Bry, you agree with that?
I don't really agree with it, only because I think it's going to be hard for. I mean, those teams had such great runs this year between the Indians and the Dodgers. I think one of them will fall short. And the thing that people don't talk about enough is, like, these teams are hot for a while, right? And then, the Indians all of a sudden now they have like a 4-day break. So, the one thing is to keep on a roll in baseball. And I don't know, maybe these breaks might hurt these teams. So, I could easily see the Yankees or the Diamondbacks upsetting these teams, let alone, they could easily lose in the next series too. So I think it's too hard to say. I don't know if that's good enough value right now to take both of those teams because I think one of the odds say one of those teams are going to be in it, but I don't know about both.
Right. So who do you go? You like the Yankees as much? Our friend John Blundell, who gets us tickets, hooks us up. He said this is the most fun he's had rooting for the Yankees since 1996. You guys, you probably agree, right?
Yeah, the 09 team was fun too, but this team is fun. So I've been saying that. Chemistry, right, Sal?
Yeah.
I've been talking about it. These guys love each other. They're fun. And even the haters, Sal, I know you're a Met fan, you have to kind of like this Yankee team.
No,
you have to kind of like it. There's nobody to not like.
No.
Who's there not to like?
I really don't. I
Who's
don't
there
know.
not to like?
Just on the whole, it's just all there. It's just always right there. Right. Harry, you don't like this team, right?
You know what? They're better than I'm rooting for. I'm not rooting for them, but they're definitely a team that I wasn't rooting for back in the '90s against.
Yeah, of course. That was the worst team. That's the worst team. But no, look, these guys
Well,
don't
that's
want
when
to
Harry
say
was
it.
a Braves fan.
That's right. All right, Brother Bry, give us your pick. Who do you like?
Yeah. So I before the playoffs started, just so you know, I did take the Cubs versus the Yankees in the World Series at like 35-1. I think it's now it went down to like 24-1 after
Nice.
the Yankees won. But I'm sticking with the Cubs a little bit. I like the Cubs over the Nationals in the division series. The Cubs actually, I think they had the best record in the National League. I think they were 49-25 in the second half of the year. Kendricks has been really good since he came off the DL. You have to expect Lester to be really good again in the playoffs. I think he won 5 of his last 6 in September. Quintana was good again in September. And I don't know. I just feel like they don't have a lot of pressure on them. So I feel like, they'll come out to play. And the Nationals, the 3 times they were in the division series, they lost all 3. We don't know what's happening with Scherzer at this point in time. I feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on them. Also, Gonzalez hasn't been good for the last 2 months, so I don't really know what to expect from the Nationals at this point. So I think the Cubs in the positive here at plus 110, I think is good value.
Plus 110 is pretty good for the defending champs, especially if they could take 1 of 2 in Washington, then go back to Wrigley, maybe to close it out. That could be good. All right.
Have they said what with Scherzer yet today? Have they said? I didn't even see anything yet.
They're keeping it close to the vest. They haven't really said anything on it. But Harry, what are you going to say? Diamondbacks? What do we think here?
Well, look, I know I gave Darren a little ribbing last week about being a homer with the Islanders, the Yankees, the Cowboys. What else, Darren? But anyways, this
At
is
least I'm a fan of those teams.
This is going to be a trend. This is going to be a trend today with my best bet. But right now, for baseball, I'm going to go with my hometown Diamondbacks to probably be plus 180 to beat the Dodgers if they can survive this game against Colorado, in which now Arizona's up 4-0. Marte 2 for 2 tonight, Darren, with a home run. So it's 4-0 now, Diamondbacks. I'm taking them to beat the Dodgers at plus 180 roughly because, look, the D-backs are not impressed with the Dodgers. They were 11-8 versus the Dodgers this season. And in those games, they outscored L.A. 99-61, a 38-run differential. Yep. They have the second best in the National League, the second best run differential in the National League. J.D. Martinez was the best midseason acquisition in the NL. A month ago to the day is when he hit the 4 home runs against the Dodgers. And if the D-back starters can get 6-7 strong innings in, Archie Bradley's been lights out for them this year, like a 1.73 ERA. And plus, I've been known to stalk the opposing teams a bit.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. This is
announcing that.
October's my favorite month of the
year. And I can use psychological ideas to mess with the opposition,
Right. Now, because I like this time of year because you got football, you got basketball starting up, college is up and running, baseball playoffs, and Harry typically stalks the visiting team, whoever's going to Arizona, and you did that yesterday, right?
I did that yesterday. I know where they're staying, so in the lobby, Nolan Arenado's right there, along with Gerardo Parra, who used to be a Diamondback. So I sort of did a little plan where I didn't act like I knew who Arenado was, and I started talking to Parra and telling him what a fan I was of his, and we miss him here. Can I get a picture? Oh, no problem. I just asked Nolan to take the picture instead of saying, hey, man, you're a stud. You had 37 home runs and 130 RBIs last year. And then I did tell you guys this afternoon. It was all my diabolical plan that'll mess with Arenado's head, and then he'd go 0 for 4 tonight with 2 Ks in the ground, and he'd ground to a double play. He's 0 for 1 tonight, and he struck out.
Hey, Sal, that picture of Harry, I don't think I've ever seen him dressed so nicely.
Yeah, what
by
was
the
that
way.
shirt, Harry?
He's going to hotels. He's dressing up. I mean, what's going on?
Well, first of all, I would bet anything. I don't know what the line would be, but it would be immensely.
No, it's not. It wasn't Ken's shirt.
It's not your shirt, though. It's not yours.
I actually bought that shirt. I bought that
for
shirt.
who? You bought it for someone else. That's your shirt?
I did buy that shirt. I've worn it once in my life. I've had it for about 9 years.
I don't think I've ever seen you wearing anything other than bright orange Syracuse shirt. But all right, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. And you said you might there might be some finagling at the hotel. What did you say today? I forgot.
Well, I was nice yesterday. My whole plan was nice against the Rockies. But like I said, if we get to the Dodgers and the Dodgers are there,
yeah,
and it's maybe say it's 1-1 and come back for game 3-4 in Arizona, the Dodgers might want to think about maybe getting a unexpected 3:45 a.m. wake-up call when the smoke detectors go off.
Oh, you're going to set off the smoke detectors. Well, it's good that you announced it to everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
Or a fire alarm, something along that line.
All right, good.
That would be great if Harry couldn't make the podcast next week because he was arrested.
It would be
that.
good.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I wonder how much weight you would lose eating prison food.
Then would I be a fan? Darren, would I be a fan then?
I don't know.
Fan then, Darren?
I thought you were a Braves fan. What happened? You were a Braves fan for 20-something years, and now you move and you're a Diamondbacks fan. How did that happen?
It didn't happen.
I think everybody would agree that's a little shady.
Yeah,
that's a little shady.
All right, Harry, try to stay out of jail.
Fan, so.
Let me give my best here, and I'm not reaching too far here. I'm going Indians plus 140 to win the American League. Their starters are incredible. They're 41-8 since the All-Star break. Just phenomenal. Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, Bauer, and their middle relief is dynamite. And offensively, I think there was a plus 254 run differential. That's insane. They just everybody, Ramirez, Lindor, Encarnacion, they all contribute, and they're just a top. They remind me of that 2015 Royals team where there's no easy out in the lineup, and when these at bats in October take 2 and 3 minutes, it's tough. It's eventually you wear a team down. They were 5-2, I think, against the Yankees this year. 5-1 against the Astros. Red Sox won 4-7, I believe, against them, but I don't even think they meet up. Parlay Kid, Brother Bry, you know it. You know Severino's exposed. You know Chapman's exposed. You're worried about this. You can have as much fun rooting for this team as you want. But Indians, plus 140 to win the American League. That's my best bet in baseball. All right, let's move on to our sponsored segment, Captain Morgan's Make-Believe Riverboat Casino. Each week, the Degenerate Trifecta and I set sail tackling make-believe gambling propositions related to sports and pop culture events. This week's fake prop. Who throws the most tantrums this Sunday? The combination of Odell Beckham Jr. and Antonio Brown, or Larry David? Curb Your Enthusiasm's Larry David is favored by 1.5 tantrums. This is a little confusing. Harry, what do you say? I know you're a fan of the show. Larry David giving 1.5 tantrums over Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham Jr.
You know what? I'll take LD minus 1.5 tantrums all day.
Really?
Look, Antonio Brown got his whatever that was last week out of the system, and ODB, I hope, realizes that being 0-4 plus him throwing a tirade against the Chargers just equals him being a spoiled brat, and no one will give him any sympathy. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Larry David is always good for plenty of tantrums, no matter how much lamping he does.
That's right. He does do a lot of lamping. All right, so you're going with Larry David.
That was hilarious.
You had to watch last year. Yeah, last week, rather. Brother Bry, you like taking the tantrums or giving them?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Larry here, minus 1.5. I think Antonio Brown, he's definitely gonna be on his best behavior because Roethlisberger and Tomlin did call him out this week, so he's definitely not gonna do anything. I think maybe Beckham still. I mean, he definitely has probably one a week, But I think Larry, what would you say? Larry, every episode has like between 3 and 4. I mean, the tantrum in the tantrum in the shower was great with the soap.
Awesome.
I mean, that happens to me all the time. But you got to figure out he's going to have a tantrum with Susie, with Funkhauser. I think Funkhauser's on this episode this week.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
Great
2, and he's going to have
Osborne.
1 or 2 more.
Yeah.
And like Harry was saying, Lampin, I think that word was made up for Harry, just laying around doing nothing
Yeah,
all
that's
day.
right. Yeah.
Right?
He is the guy in the guest house. Parlay Kid, are you taking or giving the tantrums?
Oh, man, listen, too bad Harry was foisted upon us, I think, with this episode.
Right.
I'm taking Larry David. He's the king. He's the king of tantrums. Maybe we could all learn a little something from Larry David. Like, worry about all the little things in life rather than the big things.
Right.
Right? About, like, this thing in the shower that Brian said. That was fantastic. We can all relate to that. He throws a tantrum at every little thing. It's at least 3 to 4 to 5 an episode. Let's face it, Beckham's a little, he's the little B word, right?
Mm-hmm.
He really is. And Brown, he's going to be on his best behavior this week. That number is going to be low, even though I do think the Giants are about to hit their breaking point here, especially with the loss to the Chargers. But Larry David is the king of tantrums. I love him. What an episode. Take Larry David.
Interesting. I thought about it. It does seem like he has a lot of tantrums, but what did he have in the last episode? I guess the shower one has to count. And then I think with the assistant, and I think that was the only one. I know that he goes at it with Susie Essman, but I don't know if that's a tantrum. In fact, I think backs off with her. I thought there were only 2 tantrums, if it's like a real tantrum. And I think he has another 2. I think Antonio Brown is clean. I think you guys are right about that. He learned his lesson. He's fine. They're going to beat the Jags. It's not a big deal. And I think Odell has his 1. He does his thing. Some stupid end zone celebration. He gets mad at the ref, and they show him flipping out on the sideline. I think Larry David 2, Beckham Brown 1. I wouldn't give the 1.5. I'd take the 1.5. So I'm taking football over Larry in that one. All right. That's another week of Captain Morgan's Make Believe Riverboat Casino. No matter how you live like a captain, Captain Morgan reminds you to please drink responsibly. Captain's orders. Now, came across a letter. We have this thing. We have the Degenerate Hall of Fame. It's in Pahrump, Nevada. And I've been saying that wrong. Harry, you should correct me. I think Jimmy gets on my case, too. My cousin Jimmy is from there. He says I say Nevada, and it's Nevada. And then I got a couple of letters saying it's Nevada. I'm saying it wrong. How do you say it, Harry?
It's Nevada.
It's Nevada. Okay. Because it's weird, because the guy in Chips you don't say is Eric Estrada, right? You say Estrada. It seems like you're going out of your way to not pronounce it the Spanish way. All right, whatever, that's fine. So in Pahrump, Nevada, we have built. We're almost done building it. It's our Degenerate Gamblers Hall of Fame, and we have about 7 or 8 members. And what you have to do is you have to write me an email at cousinsalagainstallodds@gmail.com. and submit yourself. Give us a crazy story, some story about losing, bad beats, or just in general, what makes you a degenerate gambler, and we will analyze it. Now, this comes from Edward G. Contreras Santiago, and I don't even know if it's real, but I'm going to read it. Edward is from Puerto Rico, living in Puerto Rico. He says, Dear Sal, as you know, Puerto Rico just went through a horrible hurricane. Close to 99% of the island doesn't have power or water, and there are 3 to 4 hour waits for gasoline. However, one phone company managed to get their antennas working, albeit a very weak signal. My girlfriend happened to be staying with me. We both have close to 20% battery, and I tell her to set up a hotspot to check my 8-team fantasy league, knowing I didn't insert a defense. I was losing by 2.2. She hesitated because she wanted to call her mom. I told her it would be quick, and she eventually gave in. After 15 minutes of trying to get into the fantasy app and begging my girlfriend to continue, I managed to pick up the Dallas defense Monday against the Cardinals. I try to insert the Dallas defense, and suddenly it says no connection. My girlfriend's phone lost all her power, and she couldn't contact her mother. And let's just say the Dallas D wasn't the only thing that wasn't inserted. Very good. A few days later, she let me use her hotspot to write this email so I could download this podcast and write my degenerate tale. Thanks, Cousin Sal and the Degenerate Trifecta. Edward from Puerto Rico. My God, this is really amazing to me. This guy is risking all the power there's terrible stuff going on in Puerto Rico, and he has to get the Cowboys defense in to his fantasy lineup, and it doesn't even happen. Brother Bry, we need 3 out of 4 yeses to nominate, to induct Edward into the Hall of Fame. What are you saying, yes or no?
I'm going to say no, just because I think I feel too bad. I think I feel too bad saying yes on this one. Although I don't know why he picked up the Dallas. I mean, he's trying to pick up Dallas defense. I'm trying to figure out why he tried to pick up them. But yeah, I'm going to just say no, just because again, I think for my own conscience, I'm going to say it.
All right. Harry, you don't really have a conscience, do you?
No, but I'm gonna roll with Brian on this too. I'm gonna say no because really, honestly, who's picking up the Dallas? If this guy can't be that bright, I'm sorry, but he can't because he's picking up the Dallas defense. Whew, that was awful. I mean, it wasn't that bad against the Cardinals, but boy, was it bad against the Rams.
I think you're missing the point of the lengths this guy went to get his fantasy in. All right, Parlay Kid, what do you think?
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Well, Sal, he's out. Yeah. I mean, no matter what I say now, I feel terrible for this guy. I mean, this is against all odds at its best, right? I mean, for what this guy is doing.
Yeah, you're right.
Right here, I mean,
Darren,
he's
you just
doing
want to feel
everything.
sorry for him because he wanted Dallas' defense.
Well, I mean, that's a strike against him. Yeah, well, I don't know if that was such a bright move.
I think the idea is that he
won.
Wait, hold on. I think it was Monday night, and that was the only defense he could pick up. Isn't that what's going on?
There you go.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah, so Sal, so shame on these guys. You're 100% right, Sal. Because this guy, to me, this guy's a diehard. He's a fan of ours.
Right.
He looks forward to the podcast. We probably give him a little, little break in his during this hard time.
Yeah.
Seriously, right? So, and these guys are going to shoot him down and say no. What having a conscience?
You know what, Darren, I think maybe convinced me. Maybe I'm going to switch it over to yes. So now, I just felt too bad with the Puerto Rico thing, everything going on there. But yeah, I think the fact that Darren's right. The fact that this guy's going through so much too that any little thing to help. I guess that's right.
Okay.
Sal, don't even let Harry change his. He's a no. He's done.
Yes. Okay, Harry, you're a no.
You just say yes, Sal, and this guy's in.
All right. Well, I have to think. I'm not sure about the Hall of Fame. He's an absolute lunatic. Private Santiago here should be court-martialed, I think. But I'm going to put him in. Let's put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
you're right. He's got enough going against him. He was just to be able to go out on a limb to even after didn't learn his lesson and still wrote this email with limited power and reception and everything. And if Edward's girlfriend's mother is listening, your daughter is safe, or as safe as someone who is dating a maniac can be. And let's leave it at that. Edward, you are in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully you can get there in Pahrump, Nevada. Someday you can come over.
God bless Edward. I hope everything is good there too, Sal.
Congratulations. Yes.
God bless that guy.
And Edward's girlfriend, if there's a way to run, do it. I don't know.
And God bless her too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's it. Degenerate Hall of Fame nominee. And, let's talk MyBookie. Here's what's going on with MyBookie. If you're watching the games, it's time to start making money. MyBookie is the industry-leading website that can fill all your betting needs. With great odds, fast payouts, decades of expertise, you can bet with confidence. Your team doesn't even have to win. They just need to cover the spread. So what are you waiting for? Lay down some cash and win big today. Kyle, you know why you're here? I just realized what happened. I gave Tate, who's usually running our board, $40 to join. And you know what he did?
I'd love to know.
He won. He obviously turned this into thousands of dollars. He's probably sunning himself in Maui right now. I don't know what he told you.
He bought concert tickets.
That's what he told you. Right. Okay. Maybe bought concert tickets. Listen, where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. That's why I'm urging you to make your way to MyBookie. I trust them. Don't take my word for it. Check them out yourself. They have in-game live betting and a mobile site that makes wagering on the go easier than ever. You can also check out their online casino. Harry, you're a big roulette guy, right?
I love roulette.
Harry has a system. Roulette. All right. Invest in MyBookie. Just play a few hands of blackjack, roll dice, and craps. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit with up to 100% bonus. Use promo code SAL to activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. All right. Let's now go to Sharp Tank. This is it. This is what everyone's been waiting for. I don't know what the units. You guys are up a lot of units. I mean, Brother Bry, yours paid 3-1. Parlay Kid, you had a parlay the week before that paid odds. Harry, you've won 2 in a row. Are you ready to go for 3?
Sure.
All right.
Roll.
I'm going to pick one. I'm going to hear all 3, and then I'm going to buy one if I like it. So let's go with Harry. Start us off.
All right. Now, I did say earlier in the show when we were talking about the Diamondbacks that I've got it's a trend on the show with I'm going to be a bit of a homer, and my best bet is a 2-team homer parlay where I have Syracuse playing Pittsburgh. I'm taking Syracuse at -160 on the money line with the New York Giants at -190 on the money line. Now, my reasoning for liking Syracuse, who are actually a 3.5-point favorite, which is interesting. Like I said, I'm taking them on the money line, but they're a 3.5-point favorite. Syracuse has beat Pittsburgh one time since 2005, and that was by 1 point. And last year they played at a ridiculous Arena Bowl-like score in which Pittsburgh won 76-61 at the end of the season. I've got Syracuse in this because I think the 3.5 is phony. It's a revenge time for them. They've played well the last 2 on the road. They covered at LSU. They covered at NC State. And they really have to have this game because their next 3, it's a murder schedule they have the rest of the season. Their next 3, though, they've got Clemson, at Miami, and at Florida State. And meanwhile, Pittsburgh has beat Youngstown State by 7 points in overtime, and they beat Rice. And they got rolled by a combined 75 points by Penn State, Oklahoma State, and Georgia Tech in between those games. Syracuse quarterback Eric Dungy leads the team in rushing with 7 touchdowns. He's got 7 passing touchdowns. Syracuse gets it done against Pittsburgh.
All
And
right.
on the flip side, my other pick for the parlay, Giants at -190. I know, Sal, you're a big fan of taking the home team on the East Coast when the West Coast team comes. It's an early start for the Chargers. I've been saying it on the podcast. Finally, the Giants put rookie from Clemson running back Wayne Gallman in with Arlene's Darkwater being injured. He responded last week. He had the best rushing game for the Giants all season.
Hold on. What did he have? Like 40? You have like 48 yards or something?
Well, he had 42. Well, he had 42 yards.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was 48. 42.
But it's still the best that the Giants have had all season.
It's incredible.
He had a receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
Eli looked good in the second half last week versus Tampa. He had flashes of the old Eli, and they just can't lose to the redheaded stepchild, the L.A. Chargers in New York. It just can't happen. So the Giants at -190, Syracuse at -160, 2-teamer. My best bet, looking for 3 in a row.
Oh, I don't know who the redheaded stepchild is out of these L.A. football teams. But speaking of homers, Harry, Charlie Blackmon grand slam ties the game. So I don't know about your Arizona pick right now. I'm kidding. No, Arizona's still 4-0. All right, I will reserve comments until I hear all 3. Parlay Kid, what are you pitching me?
Yeah, hey, so I actually liked Harry's bet there. So not to try to
you don't have to do that
bet because
you don't have to do that.
But Harry, you know what? I do like the Syracuse quarterback. He's an underrated college quarterback. I'm not sure if he's a pro quarterback. I do like the kid though. So I'm going to give you a 3-team tease. My career winning percentage on 3-team teasers is about 78%. Okay. That's where I'm at. Yeah, it's about 78%. So just so you know, going in beforehand, that's what it's about. So I like the Packers on this 3-teamer, basically getting 12 points against the Cowboys. How many points are the Cowboys going to have to score for the Packers not to cover that plus 12? 40? 45? Aaron Rodgers is going to carve up this defense. I'm not even saying the Cowboys are losing this game, but boy, Rodgers is going to have a field day the way things are looking right now. Hopefully Marinelli, for our sake as fans, can get things together, but not enough. Not enough for the Packers to not cover that 12. Okay? I like the 49ers getting 11.5 against the Colts. Okay, the 49ers are an 0-4 team. Sal, their last 3 losses, 2 of them on the road, have been by a total of 8 points.
Right.
Coach Shanahan has that team playing pretty good football, getting 11.5 against maybe what I think is a terrible Colt team. I like that right there, 11.5. And I like the Jets getting 10 points at Cleveland. Sal, Cleveland is worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Things are falling apart there big time. They, as I said, almost 3 out of the last 4 podcasts, they have non-football guys running the football team.
Who?
The city of Cleveland should be revolting.
Who specifically?
Sushi Brown.
Is that right?
Sushi Brown, and you could probably throw D. Podesta in there, right? Is that what's his name?
Yeah.
the Moneyball guy, right?
He's gone.
They got baseball guys running the operations. They're doomed. That team, the Jets, on the other hand, Sal, I told you about this kid Jamal Adams back in August for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. He has already surpassed Landon Collins on the Giants as the best safety in New York.
Whoa.
And Landon Collins might be the best safety in the NFL.
Right.
This kid is dynamite. He's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He has an edge to him. I love this kid. I love him. I wish he was on the Cowboys. The Jets getting 10 points at Cleveland on this teaser. No-brainer.
All right.
So Packers getting 12, 49ers getting 11.5, and the Jets getting 10. That's my 3-team tease.
Okay. Brother Bry, can you top that? Where are you going? You going college? You had a 3-1, over 3-1
I could definitely. I had the 3-1 last week, but I could definitely top Harry's. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Harry's onto something with Syracuse. I mean, they shouldn't be favored, though. Harry, what do you like so much about them? Them losing at home to Middle Tennessee?
Don't engage him, Brian.
That
We're
was
done
bad,
with him.
but that was bad. And I know LSU got exposed, but they played LSU tough, and they were in it to the end, and they were going up and down the field against NC State.
Well, LSU might not be any good, and who knows? But also, too, with Harry, let me just say something. If the one thing is, the reason you can't bet him either is because Harry has to bet his own bet, right? He was so confident in Washington State last week that he didn't want to take them.
That's
right?
another thing.
Right,
that is gross. It wasn't even your best bet of the week. You loved it forever, and you didn't put a dime on it. That's disgraceful. That really is.
For me, Brian, but you said it. For Harry to hit 2 in a row, that's not happening. And I just really didn't think it was.
That's ridiculous.
And it came to fruit.
So how can Harry hit 3 in a row? It's impossible,
that's
right?
True.
How can Harry hit 3 in a row?
That's right.
Harry, I got your back on this, Harry. Harry, this isn't about us. It's about the people, right? It's about the listeners.
It's
not about us. I've said that.
Harry wasted 12 minutes of the people's time and won't even put $1 on it to back himself. But all right, I understand. All right, Brother Bry, what do you like?
But all right, so I'm gonna go back to school this week, and I'm gonna do another 5-team money line parlay of big favorites. So I almost feel like this one. I feel a little guilty because I do feel like I'm cheating on this because it is so easy. It's gonna be pretty much even. It's -104, but I'm taking 5 teams. The first team is gonna be Michigan -390 over Michigan State. I mean, Michigan's had 2 weeks to prepare. Harbaugh is gonna be ready, and Michigan State again. They're coming off of a big win at home against Iowa. They were also terrible this year against Notre Dame, so I think you can look for that game to be a little bit closer to the Notre Dame game. I know Michigan's going to be out Spate this week, but O'Korn should fill in okay. Number 2, I'm going Notre Dame -725 over Tate the Snakes Tar Heels. I wish Tate was here today. I love Kyle, but I wish he was here so I could just tell him how bad they are.
Well,
take
it up with Chance the Rapper. He's obviously more important to Tate than we are.
I should, but I think you could expect the same thing. I mean, Georgia Tech just beat up the Tar Heels last week, ran all over them. Notre Dame's going to do the same exact thing. Number 3, Georgia -1,000 over Vandy. I mean, Georgia's been I think to me they've been, aside from Clemson, maybe they've been the most impressive team in the country. They kind of remind me of like the Alabama teams from a few years ago, before they got like Hurts, who's a mobile quarterback. That strong defense just run really well. But they're impressive. Vanderbilt, I feel like they have had such a tough stretch between Bama, Florida, K-State. I think they'll probably be a little bit beat up. I know they're home, but I think that tough schedule, I don't think they're going to keep this one close. Number 4, I like Penn State minus 700 over Northwestern. There's just no way Northwestern keeps up with their firepower in this game. And number 5, Iowa minus 1100 over Illinois. So Iowa's lost two kind of heartbreakers the last 2 weeks. They'll be coming back home looking to make a statement. One thing too, Sal, I don't know if you saw, like Iowa, it is a great tradition that they have with that Iowa Children's Hospital. So
yeah,
I could see them again. They're going to want to get their first Big Ten win in this. So I love them in that game. So those 5 teams are minus 104. I think this one's really easy.
All right. So, Brother Bry, I wasn't paying full attention. Is everyone except Iowa on the road there? Or is Michigan home?
Well, Iowa's home and Michigan's home.
Michigan's
and then,
home, too.
Notre Dame, Georgia, and Penn State are on the road.
Okay. All right. First, I'm going to tell you each what I don't like about the parlays. Brother Bry, Vanderbilt is a team that I can never get right if I live to be 150. But I said the same thing about Oak State, but Vanderbilt is really just bites me in the ass almost every time, and I know Georgia's better and they shouldn't lose and all that. But let me think about that. Harry, maybe this just isn't the Giants' year. Maybe this is just such a coin flip with them and San Diego, and they're basically one's the East Coast version of the West Coast of each other. Like they mirror each other on different coasts, and it's just tough that one of them is going to go 0-5, but that's
also Eli has never beat Phillip Rivers.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I love it then.
Much, but he's never beaten him.
Oh, I love it then. That's great. Oh, and Syracuse has never beat Pitt.
The do factor.
Yeah.
The do factor again.
Oh, the do factor. All right, and there is that weirdness because he wouldn't play for San Diego and that whole thing. I understand. All right. Parlay Kid, I love Green Bay plus 12. I echo your sentiments there. There's just not enough defense in Dallas. Even if they were to step up, Green Bay's right around 28 points. So Dallas would have to score 40, and I don't think it's there. San Fran is probably better than Indy. I'm not betting on Cleveland all year. I've made a promise to myself. I just have a problem, I think, a little with Hoyer and McCown both in a 3-team teaser. I just feel like something weird could happen. I'm going with Brother Bry's parlay. I'm going with the 5-teamer, the college parlay. Michigan over Michigan State, Notre Dame over UNC, Georgia over Vanderbilt, Penn State over Northwestern, Iowa over Illinois at minus 104. It's a money line parlay. His parlay won last week. I wish you 2 well, Harry. I'm sorry. I'll be rooting for Syracuse. I don't know about the Giants, but let's see if Syracuse wins first. And
one day you might go this way. One day.
I don't.
By
think
the way,
so.
can I say?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Darren. By the way, you ripping Sushi Brown. If you and your lovely wife happen to have a 6th kid, Sushi Sokoli is one hell of a name. I was just thinking that.
Not bad, Harry. Not bad.
Darren, what's going? Hold on. Let's sing Darren's praises. He's got a star quarterback on his hand in the family. Who would you have this week? Who are the John Glenn Knights playing?
Now they're playing their rivals. Yeah, the Babylon High School. They're playing.
Now this
week.
is a good team, Babylon. They're a powerhouse, right?
Powerhouse. We're banged up. Team's really banged up, but they'll be right in it. We got enough talent to be right in it, and hopefully get healthy for the playoffs. They'll be right in the mix come the playoffs.
All right,
time, so.
You're being a little bashful there, but young Kyle is like what 6th in the county, you said, in passing.
Yeah, it appears to be that way. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just say it. No one's going to look it up. That's fine. All right, great. All right, I'm taking Brother Bry's parlay. That'll do it for another episode of Against All Odds with Cousin Sal, part of the Ringer Podcast Network. If you think you're eligible for our Degenerate Gamblers Hall of Fame or just want to shoot us an email, do so. Cousin Sal Against All Odds @gmail.com. Tweet me at the Cousin Sal. Brother Bry is at BSZOK816. The Parlay Kid is at the Chalk Talker. Harry, you could see, is at a hot yoga class. Are you all done with hot yoga, Harry?
All done, but what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find other classes that I can sign on for 2 weeks and get in for free, so I don't have to really pay anything.
Good. I'm
jumping around Scottsdale.
Is that how you're losing the weight? You're jumping around Scottsdale? All right, whatever it takes.
Helps.
Watch Jimmy Kimmel Live, 11:35 tonight and every weeknight on ABC. And that's that for the Degenerate Trifecta. I'm Sal saying so long and happy handicapping.
Na